Hey guys, so I hope you've watched my previous tutorial on how to install Node and set up our SSL and everything. So in this video we're just gonna make our first game, alright? So this is gonna be a simple game. We're just gonna probably just load the Facebook SDK and see what happens. Alright, so to get started we're just gonna open up a project folder, and I'm just gonna move to my code and open up my terminal application there. And I'm just gonna name my project test app. Alright, so what I need is a folder for this. So in order to create a folder, I'm just gonna type megdir and space test app. Right, now since test app is created, I'm just gonna move into test app now, and everything else will be done from inside of there. So inside test app, the first thing I need is an index.html. Every instant game does need an index.html, which is from where everything else is served. So I'm just gonna make an instant index.html. So in order to do that, I'm just gonna use a touch command, or you could just make a new file and rename it to index.html, whatever you want. Made it, and the only thing we have right now is an index.html. Now I'm gonna open this folder up in my favorite editor, which is Visual Studio Code. In order to do that, from a terminal you could just type in code space dot, or in Visual Studio Code you can go ahead and open up a new project over here somewhere, open. So I'm just gonna make this full screen, and inside index.html, the only thing I'm just gonna type in the basic HTML syntax here. So inside of title I'm gonna type game, because that does not really matter, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new file, and it is gonna be called main.js, which will be our script. Alright, this is our main script file, and inside of here we'll just gonna type console.log hello world for now, and here in our body I'm just gonna type the same thing, or I'll type hello, this is my first instant game. Right, so inside of here oh my god inside of here I'm just gonna load that script we just made. Script src is equal to main.js. Right, so up to here everything is basic HTML and JavaScript. Only thing we have is an index.html, and inside of here we'll have a main.js, and that main.js just has a console.log statement. Alright, so we'll open this, just gonna don't save, we'll open this up in HTTP server. We're not gonna be bothered about HTTPS or SSL right now, just gonna see what happens. Right, I'm just gonna type command option J in order to see my console, and there you go. Oh my god, Control Shift R. See, so hello, this is my the last one was cached from my old test. Alright, so this is our script. So hello, this is my first IG, and here in the console.log you see hello world, which is exactly what we were expecting. Alright, so now we're gonna step up a bit and try to load our Facebook SDK. So in order to do that, we're gonna open Instant Game SDK and go to test, publish and share. Click here, and remember the thing I told you about SSL. It seems that Facebook already has a great guide on how to do that. So everything is exactly as we said. Only thing different is that we type command is slightly different, but it is not gonna be anything great. Just gonna type a country code, which is IN, because I'm from India. You're just gonna type anything which you are. Right, so just as we want, we'll go ahead and see what test step has. We have two files, which is key.pem and cert.pem, which is a certificate. So we are gonna open our HTTP server using this command, because the last command I forgot to mention about C1, which disables our cache, which is really important, because you've just seen that when I opened my HTTPS, my local host, you just saw that my old project was loaded before the new one. So that is gonna happen a lot if you don't have cache disabled. So that is what we're gonna do now. We're just gonna copy this and we will paste it here. Alright, so you know what to do when you see this. You're just gonna click advanced and click proceed. So that is pretty much it. Now we've loaded this in HTTPS. Now, as we usually do, I'm just going to change 127.0.0.1 to localhost. So this will load up exactly the same. So first time they're gonna ask this, click proceed anyway. So from the next time on, they're not gonna ask anything, so don't worry about that. You don't have to face that every time you reload your page. Right, so I've loaded the game, and hello, this is my IG, and hello world has been printed over here. So the thing I like to do is I like to make my console really big so that my game looks like a mobile, which is as big as the size that the Facebook loads the instant game. Right, so you could also click here alternatively, but I prefer the regular. Right, so open this up and you'll see another link over here. Just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna explain what is going on over here. Right, so for example, for the time being, I'm gonna paste this over here and I'm gonna make it. Alright, so this is game URL. This is an embedding thing for Facebook to test our game, so we could embed a script in Facebook and test our game. So I'll show you why we need to embed and test. Otherwise, what is the problem if we test directly from our HTTP server? And I'll explain all of those things right now. But here you see that this is www.facebook.com/embed/instant-games/your-game-id. So you need to create a game or an application in Facebook beforehand in order to test your game. So, and this URL is exactly the same for us because our app also loads in 8080, so we don't have to change this for now. If you were to load your game on a different port like 3000, you'll change that over here. So first thing you gotta do is I'll just comment this out and we'll show you why we need such a thing. So we'll go ahead here and we click quick start, and here you see script src/ something Facebook instant.6.3.js. right, so our latest version as of recording this video is 6.3. so I am gonna load this before my script. That should work, right? It's gonna reload and see if there is any error. It's gonna reload. Yeah, Control Shift R in order to hard reload. There is no error over here except for this. This is because they are searching for the fav icon, which is the icon displayed on the tab, which we did not provide, so do not mind that one. Everything else, there is nothing wrong, so I will guess that Facebook Instant Game SDK has been loaded. So first thing we gotta do is we have to wait till our Facebook Instant Game SDK has been initialized. So I'll explain this part a bit. So Facebook Instant is a global variable created which is binded to the window of our document. So this is created by Facebook Instant.6.3.js. So after we load that, this variable is created, and inside of here there is a method called initialize async as in asynchronous, and this would return a promise. If you don't know what a promise is, just don't be bothered. So only know this, that if it returns a promise, you can type in .then, and after whatever they have written inside this has been executed, our then function would work. Then would take inside a function as an argument, and this callback function would be called or executed right after initialize async has been executed. So I'm just gonna copy this and type it in main.js. So the function does not have curly braces here. Alright, so why Facebook has given such a thing. Alright, so for us to use all the Facebook instant game things, we need for Facebook to load their script, right? Even before loading, we cannot use their variables and stuff and their methods. So we're just gonna type in console.log loaded and see if we can execute this part. Right, I'm just gonna type in Control Shift R, Shift Reload. Nothing's working. Like, we've only executed till this much, and I give 2 more reloads, and it still does not work. So the thing is, Facebook SDK only loads in the Facebook domain. So you have to be accessing from facebook.com/something in order for Facebook SDK to initialize. So that is where this testing URL comes into play. Where is it? Okay, so what you gotta do is you gotta copy this and you gotta paste it here. Now there's a crucial thing that we missed, right? We have missed to paste the game ID over here. So what you gotta do is you gotta create a new game. In order to do that, you go to developers.facebook.com and create an application. Just go ahead and sign up if you haven't, and go ahead and click create application. Right, I'm just gonna name it test app for the sake of this video. Test game maybe, yeah. Right, finish up the captcha and click submit. Right, so our game app has been created. So you see the app ID over here and in the URL. So I'm just gonna copy this, and instead of your game ID, I'm gonna, okay, maybe we'll do it here. Instead of your game ID, I'm just gonna paste our app ID over here. So this should work, right? We already have an app in Facebook and we have an app ID, but there is something different here. Like, we have to do something more. We'll see what happens. We just try to load it and you get this error. So this is a common error during testing. The main thing is, because of carelessness, we have not made our application an instant game. So in order to do that, go to developers.facebook.com, open your app, and inside here, inside products page, you click the add button, right? And now you gotta add instant game as a product. So there are lots of products for this. We are just gonna be focusing on instant game. Click setup. Right, you have a lot of options and image upload fields to upload everything, but we are not gonna be bothered about this at all. We have made our application an instant game. That is pretty much all we need. So if we go ahead and reload over here, we'll see now we have the play button. I've made the console here and click play now. So first thing you notice is that it keeps on loading, but don't mind that. We have loaded over here. So just as we wanted, our initialize async has been executed, and after that this function has been called, and from within this function a loaded console log statement has been executed. So a quick thing that now bothers you is that it is not loading. It's showing 0% loaded. So how can you fix that? So if you go ahead and open up our instant game quick start guide, you will see another function, FBInstant.set loading progress, right? So what you gotta do is, inside of this initialize async, we have to load our assets as in images, sprites, and music for our game. So if you were to load any game, music or images from our server during, like, for our instant game, we have to load it over here, and Facebook will conveniently show a loading box for us. So right now we don't have an image or something to load, so we're just gonna put an interval and see what progress we're gonna make. Right, we're just gonna make a new variable named progress. Progress, and we're gonna set that to 0, right? And we're gonna create a set interval method, and inside of this we're gonna pass in this function, and our interval we'll set it for 100 millisecond for now. And inside of here we're just gonna type progress plus is equal to 3. So every 100 millisecond our progress has been incremented by 3. So we will also try, and this thing over here, set loading progress, we're gonna copy this and paste it over here, and our progress is exact same name variable as we have made. So let us see what happens now. I'm just gonna quickly reload. See, our game is loading right now, but you'll see another problem over here. And when it is 99% loaded, it stops, but our progress keeps incrementing, right? So in order to fix that, we are just gonna set our interval into a new variable. Interval is equal to, right, my spelling's wrong. Right, interval is equal to set interval, and if a progress is greater than or equal to 95, just a random number is less than 99, we'll put our progress to we will clear our interval, and we will type in this name, and we will start our game over here. So how would we start our game? So in order to start our game, there is another function called FBInstant.startGameAsync. Async as in asynchronous. So this function also is a promise, so it will execute the then part after the game has been successfully started from within the SDK. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna do this, and type in this. If you type in shift option F, it will format if you have a formatting extension or something enabled. So inside of here, we'll type in console.log game has been started. Alright, we will see what happened. Control Shift R. It is loading. Yeah, our game has been started. And if you go ahead and check here there is our text, hello, this is my first instant game, and our console log has been printed. One quick fix we're gonna do is we're gonna make this background white, otherwise it is transparent, and behind that Facebook has a black background, so our game would show up in black background. So one quick thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a style tag and body, min height 100 VH, background white. Right, so let's see what happened. Yeah, it is loading, and after loading it had printed game has been started and our background is white and everything is good. So one more thing we're gonna do is for this video, and we'll end it there, is we're gonna print our name. Like after this FBInstant.startGameAsync has been executed, we will get the player ID and player name. So we will get those both, and we'll try to print it here. Which don't be bothered about context right now, which is for another thing. And I'm just gonna type in player ID here. Player ID, and we will console log it. Oops. Alright, so that is it, and we'll try a reload. Yep, we see loaded, and after the game has been loaded, we don't have an ID, but a name has been printed. We'll see why we don't have an ID yet. Get ID. Yeah, probably we don't have an ID because we are not yet in an instant game yet, we are just testing it. So we got our name and ID. I think that is the reason why we don't have an ID. So we'll just, right, maybe we'll try this. No, nope, that is not working. So I guess the reason why we don't have an ID is because we are not actually playing inside a game, but we don't have a context in order to. Oh right, that is not the player ID, that was a context ID. I was sorry about that. Control Z. We don't have a context there because we are not yet playing the game, right? We are just testing it. So a context is like when we are opening a game, did we open it from a share, did we open it from a message, did we open it, and it will help us to start where we left off. Now we've done a reload and we see a player ID over here and my name over here printed. So that is pretty much it for this tutorial. I think that we've covered enough for now. If you think this was not enough, I would suggest that you give this a rewatch and go ahead and read the quick start page. It is very good over here. So I'll see you in the next video now.